Hi everyone, it's Bobbie. I am here to share with you my completed album using the Forever Ireland paper by Country Craft Creations. This paper is so gorgeous. I used the design paper on the front with a strip of dark green that I had in my stash, and then I had this paper that looks like leather also in my stash, and I just wrapped my spine with it and just did the same thing on the back. I cut the little legs off of some, what do you call them, brads, I couldn't even think of it, and just glued those down, and I added some little photo corners that I had in my stash. So on the inside of the album, on the inside cover, make sure I'm in frame here, load over a little bit. On the inside cover, I have a pocket with three photo mats. They're plain on the back so that you can journal on one side and place your photo on the other. I did not put anything here because I love that paper and I just wanted to keep it very nice and simple. Okay, on page 1, we have a tie closure here. This is I believe this is called the Champagne. It's Tammy's seam binding. It opens out here. I have 4 little areas for photos or journaling there. And we have a belly band that holds, it can hold more than what I have in there, but I just wanted to show you some just to give you the idea of what it will do. I love this rose. I just had to use it somewhere and I added 2 photo mats to the back of it. And that is your stopper down there. It says Pot of Gold that I got from one of the design papers. This goes over here. Okay, on the back side of page 1, I have a pocket. I have a photo mat here. And I just off-cut this little girl so I didn't lose her. I thought she was so pretty. And I made a little pocket on this page. This is a little booklet. And I found that I have this punch in my stash that your photo slides right up under these little flaps. Didn't even know I had that. Another photo mat on the back. Really simple to make. And on this page we have another pocket that is holding photo mats to keep your waterfall down. And there's just 3 pages to the waterfall. Uh-oh, got stuck. There we go. Like that. And there's room on the back side of each one for an additional photo, and you could journal on these spots. I really like that splatter stamp. That I had that in my stash. And here are 2 plain photo mats. And there's another one. I made a pocket by cutting some of the design paper out and put a little photo mat in there. Back side, another pocket. I'm all about pockets in this one because I wanted a place to put all the photo mats without actually gluing them to the paper and covering them up because it's so pretty. I just wanted to preserve the paper and be able to look at it. So there's more room for photos. Another little booklet with a photo pocket. And this little metal embellishment I had in my stash. More splatters. And on the back side. Okay, on this page we have a belly band, lots of inserts under there. Another photo mat. Oops, left this up under there. And I used the Graphic 45 die to cut out this little file folder and put 2 photo mats on the inside of that. And then this one is another booklet. Opens out. I got splatter crazy on this one, but these do not have to stay that way. If you want to journal on some and replace these with photos, that works as well. And then on the back, this is attached with a repositionable glue just to hold it into place. But see, once you put your photo down, then you can glue it permanently if you wish. And these go back under the belly band. On the back side, we have another pocket, of course, a photo mat opportunity. And then this one, my little tie canvas, is another booklet. I attached a metal charm that I had in my stash and put an enamel dot in the center and just looped my twine over it to hold it closed. Makes another little booklet. Photo mats in there. And a large one on the back. And then on the back cover, I have a booklet with 4 of those photos in it. You lift up, you have 2 photo mats here. Make sure you can see that. Yeah. 2 more on this side. And then you have an ample pocket in here where you can put numerous photo mats. So that is my Ireland Forever album. These papers are absolutely gorgeous. They're the kind of papers you just hate to cut into. But it was a lot of fun to work with. I really enjoyed it. She's just outdone herself with these papers, I think. Oh, I've got green ink all over me, I just noticed. So that is my album. I hope you enjoy it, and if you decide to make one, I hope you will share it with us. As always, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye. Okay, guys, I have started. My camera's wanting to move on me. Let me tighten this a little bit more. Hope it stays there. Okay. I had started creating the cover for the Ireland Forever collection, and I wanted to stop at this point and show you what I've done so far, explain to you so that if you want to use this same method, you sure can. So I had this textured paper, kind of has a leather look. Had this in my stash, and I thought it would be so pretty with the Ireland Forever. I had intended to wrap the album in this paper, however, I would have lost almost all of the envelope. So what I did was, I took some brown paint and I painted around the edges. And then I added my paper right up to the edge and just trimmed around it. And I will go around it with vintage photo because the paper has a white core in it, and you can see here that doesn't look so pretty, so I will go around that. Then I had this green in my stash, and I just used a white Jelly Roll pen to make some stitch lines and added that where the 2 papers come together. So that is the front of the cover, and this is the back. And I did leave an extra 1.5 inches on this edge so that I could roll it under like we normally do. And I added my score tape. And I'm going to put a little glue in here. And fasten this down. And give it a burnish. And let me grab a baby wipe. I get a little overzealous with the glue sometimes. Okay, so that is my back cover, and it goes like this, and then it will attach to this side of the spine, and then we will have our album cover. It will be like this. Like that. And like I said, I am going to go around the edges. But this is not fastened really good, so I can actually take my scissors and trim a little bit more of this off. But I don't want anything I don't have to have. But I will have to take the glue, or not the glue, the brown paint, and touch up just the edge, because the back side of this texture paper is kind of a yellowy color, and I do not want that to show when I put down my inside colors. And I have not decided oh, here, I can either use I really like this color that I got from Tammy. It is called Chamois, and I think that would be really pretty on the inside. The only thing is, see, when you put it down a quarter, like an eighth of an inch from the top, like I like to do, this shows. So I will probably just paint that edge, and then I can cover my spine and the inside with this chamois color, which I think I'll like in there really well. But I just wanted to share with you what I did to get to this point. I will go ahead and add my back piece and put my inside pieces together, just the mats, and then I will come back and we'll work on pages and spines and all of that together. Alright, I'll be back shortly. Okay, we are putting the insides down today. So I have added my solid cardstock to the inside. I just felt like it needed some contrast against the dark edge, so I used, and I'm not sure if this is the chamois or the sandpaper. I have both, and I'm not sure which one it is because I cut off the label. So I had this stripe in my stash, and I'm going to use that at the top and the bottom of the front inside. And then I'm going to add a pocket here in the center with the, this is a dark green I had in my stash as well. The stripe was also. I just felt like I needed to break it up a little bit, so I pulled that out in this green, and I'm going to add the pocket here. This pocket measures 7 3/4 by 4.5, I think. Let me double check. Let me measure it. Seven and a half. No, 7 1/4, sorry. 7 1/4 by 5, and then you'll score both short sides and one long side at 1/2. Miter your corners, and then taper your top ends. And then cut whatever design paper you want to use to sit on top of the pocket. So I will put those down, and then on the spine I cut a piece of the green stripe to go down there, and I think the spine is 1.5. I cut this at, by the time you wrap it and everything, it's almost the same size as the spine. So this is 1.5. We'll go right down the center. And then on the right hand side, I cut this piece to be the background, and it doesn't have to fit perfectly because the edges are going to be covered up. You just want to kind of center it from top to bottom, and the sides really don't matter because we're going to have pockets, on both of the sides. This pocket is 9 1/4, I believe. Yes, 9 1/4 by 2.5, and then you'll score 3 sides at 1/2, just like the other pocket. You'll taper the corners and miter the top, or miter the corners and taper the top. That goes there, and then I've got a piece of design paper to sit on top of that, and I will add that right here. Oh, and I did go around the inside of the album with Vintage Photo, and I inked all my design paper with Vintage Photo, but I didn't ink the green because it didn't really show up on there anyway. Then we have 2 flaps for the right hand side, and they measure 8 3/8 by 4, which is the larger one, and I cut the green stripe to fit over that, and I just have a 1/2 inch score line, and that will fold under, and we'll put this down before the design paper so we can hide this flap. And then this one will sit on top of that. Before we add the stripe, we will add this one here so that we also hide this flap. And this one measures 7 3/8 by 3.5, and also scored at 1/2 inch. And then I have a piece of design paper cut for that. And that will sit on top of here, and then we can have inserts in here that will hold both of these flaps down, and we'll have inserts here. And then I have a hinge cut for the center for the spine, and I have, this one is 2, I believe, 2 inches, yes, 2 inches by 8, and I scored both sides at a 1/2. And then I have a piece that is 1 inch by 8, and I scored it in 1/2, and I'm just going to put glue on 1/2, and I'm going to set it right in the middle so that I have a 3rd page. I did not want to do the hidden hinge because I don't want the double thickness. I want it to be more pliable and flat better. Sometimes the hidden hinges, they're so thick, and it takes a long time of working them back and forth to get your pages to really lay down right. So that's my thinking on that. And that'll sit right down the middle of the green stripe. Alright, well, I will glue my pages down, and I'll be back and we'll work on this center and some inserts. Okay, for our pages, page number 1, now this is your, and I have it on your cut sheet, it's 6 by 8, 8 in height and 6 in width, and each of these pages, let me grab the cover here, each of these pages will attach to the front side of one of these spines, like so. And I'll show you how that's going to, and there will be a fasten piece on the back, but I'll show you that when we get to it. It's not going to be anything earth-shattering. Oh, on the cover I did add some brads here. I just took some tin snips and cut the little legs or prongs off of them and used some E6000 there, and I put a couple little corners just on the right hand side. And those things I had in my stash. So on page number 1, I had this white wood panel in my stash, so I put a piece on there, and this is a band, and it is 2 wide, I think. It might be 2.5. It's 2 wide and 9 long. Then I scored it at a 1/2 on each side, and I'm going to put it here in the center. But before I place it, I want to put this piece down because I want it to be hidden under there. But what I did was I had this as a 1/2 inch score, and because it was just going to be a flap like this, and I felt it was too plain, so I wanted to put this under it to hold inserts. However, that was going to not lay down nice, so I scored it again at a 1/4, and you can see how it's going to make a little gusset there. And I have another piece of the green, and just for safety's sake, so that I have enough to attach it, I'm going to add some glue here. This is a way to fix a mistake. We all make them. Glue it right just shy of your score line so you can still see the fold, and just glue that down. Let me get a baby wipe here. I have to get some more out and dry them out. I'm down to the last 2 that I've got dried. Now that'll give me enough to anchor it down, and I'll just cut this off. and it is going to go to the back side of this page. Now I took a stamp that I have, and I don't remember the name of it, something grunge I think. Let me see. What's the name of it? Gorgeous Grunge. And it's got all these splatters and things in it. And I thought with this paper it was perfect. So I got out some gold ink and green ink and just splattered the photo mats. So I'm going to just kind of ballpark this in the middle, and I'm going to attach it to the back so that I have that little 1/4 inch gusset there. And that is about, that looks good to me. So I'm going to attach it, this extension is going to attach to the back. So I'm just going to flip it over and put it right close to the score line, like that. And make sure that it's still going to fold over. And that will be perfect. Then I can put my little belly band under here and know that I don't have too much bulk. Put some ink on these little tabs, and I did taper both edges so that they don't stick out and become obnoxious. And I'm going to put this, only this is the bottom, in the middle of where this is. And I want to make sure I've got it straight, because quite frequently I don't get things straight. That is 3 to the bottom of the green, and that is off. Now it's straight. I am challenged in that way for some reason. Let me see. 3 and 3. Okay, now I have another piece of ribbon somewhere. Did I knock it on the floor? Well, what did I do with that other piece of ribbon? Excuse me. I had it here. Might have to dig out another piece, because I sure can't find it. Let me see, I certainly hope I've got some more of that champagne. I think that's what this is. No, that's a different color. Yeah. It'll rear its head when I'm not looking for it. That's the same color. Thank goodness Tammy always sends plenty. Okay, so let me cut a piece of this off. I don't know what I did with it. I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. Put this back in the bag. Okay, so I want to make sure that this is attached. And I'm going to use some score tape. And scissors right there. attach this piece to the score tape. Put this back on there till I get my backing on there. Okay, and then one more little piece just for security. Okay, that's the front, and then these will tie together here. And I will cut some type of a stopper for the bottom of that. So that's page 1, front side. Page 2 is this one. Okay, page 2 is a waterfall with a tuck spot. So I have this paper, and I have not inked it yet. So let me do that real quick, just lightly with the vintage photo. I try to always do that before I get on camera, and then I get in a big old hurry. Might as well catch this one while I'm at it. Okay, and this is your 6 by 2.5, and I'm trying to decide if I should make it a pocket. I think I will. Let me see what I've got over here, see if this is 9. Yeah, that's 9. I only need 7. I need 7 by 2.5. So I will change that on the sheet. Okay. So let's move this aside for a second so I can score these. This will be a pocket. So we're going to score it at 1/2 on both short ends and one long end. Okay. Okay. Let's burnish this. Don't know what it did with my other one. That's okay, I'll use this one. And we'll burnish these corners, then we'll miter the bottom 2 corners and taper the top edges. So we're going to miter these where the 2 score lines cross. We're just going to trim it out and then taper this top corner. Okay. Now where'd my design paper go? I hope it fits. I have to trim it down just a hair. Let me make a little mark here. Make it on the white edge where I can see what I'm doing. Right here. And we'll trim that off. Should have had all this done from the get-go. Okay. Ink this bottom edge again since I cut it. Okay. Now we can put this page together. If my glue's still running. Nope, need the pen. I'm notorious for leaving the pen out. I'm terrible at that. made this one so that most everything's going to be an insert instead of mounting your photo mats right to the page, because I just didn't want to cover this paper up. I mean, honestly, it's so beautiful. I just didn't want to cover it. Here's that one. Okay, now, this little pocket, that'll be fine. So let's glue that down. And we're going to have a waterfall on this page. And I'm going to set the pocket after I put the waterfall down, and I will show you why. Need a T-square. That drawer hanging open. Okay. I always have trouble, for some reason or another, getting these perfectly straight. There's that one. These are getting out of order. I cut them so they would flow. Yeah, like that. Okay. And I did 3 more of the splatter pieces to go on here. But what we want to do is put these down. Now these are 4 by 5, scored at a 1/2 inch with the 5 at the top. They're scored at a 1/2 inch. And I kind of want these down the center. There's only going to be 3 of them. I don't want that. I want the T-square. I need the edge here so it lays right along the top. Now I want this to be centered about like that, so I'm going to move my T-square over where I want it. And that will give me a straight edge to follow. Okay? So I am going to put some glue on here. And I'm going to take it right up to the top. Lay it right along the side of that. And burnish it down. I'm going to take the second one. And I'm going to put it right up to that one. Right up against that. See, that one's wider than the other one because I have it straight, so I can trim that though. For some reason I didn't cut it straight, and that's my fault. And then the third one, bring it right up to it, and that's the only one. This one is wider too, so that second one I cut wrong. You put this down, and put this down, and it's perfect. So that mistake is me. It's my fault. But I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Excuse me. Let me put this first strip down. At least I hope it's not a big deal. that. And the second one. And the third one. It's off such a tiny amount that it doesn't even show. I know it, but nobody else would if I didn't tell them. Okay, and there's that. Now, we can put one of these up here. Oops, not that one. That goes on the cover. And the third one. Okay, now we can put our pocket in place. Make sure that these don't overlap. Mine does a little bit, so I'll trim some off here. And this one doesn't, so it's okay. Okay, we'll put our glue down. And some here. Whoops. A little carried away there. And we'll put this pocket down at the bottom. And then we'll tuck some goodies in there, which will hold the waterfall down. And see how the print matches here? Cool, huh? Okay, so that's the front side of page 2. Now for page 3, which is really easy, we have the clock paper, and no, I didn't ink it. There's that, and then this. Okay, let's add this one to the album, or to the page. And then we have a belly band, and this is 9 by 3 1/4, and I'm going to taper these edges. add the glue to those. And let's get it down the center. This is not quite center. Move it over a little bit. This is make sure I make it match. Don't want it to be crooked. Ooh. Let me pull this up. Get out of the way. There we go. Always got to double check myself. Now we can glue this down on top of the It still looks like it's buckling a little bit. I'll reburnish it and make it lay where I want it to. And this goes right on top of the belly band. There we go. Okay, that's the front of all 3 pages. Now what we need to do is attach them to the hinges and put our back pieces on, and I can add these to the inside of the album, and then we'll be ready for inserts. Okay, I like to start with the last page and work from the back to the front. So here is page 3, and you just want to center it from top to bottom and lay it right over that hinge like that, and make sure that you don't cover your, just like that. And it's, and raise it up just a hair, about like that, and you've got about the same distance at the top and the bottom. So we will add a little glue and we will attach that. And you see I just snipped off the corners so that if there is any bulk at all or any mismatch at all, that little point's not going to be a problem. So I'm going to place the glue right up here, and I don't want it down to the fold because I don't want it oozing out. I'm just going to match it up like that and make sure that it's straight. And press it into place. Tell you I misplaced more stuff. So let's press that down. Now we want our second hinge. And we'll add glue to that. Whoops. Don't want it on that side yet. Page number 2. And we're going to line it up right with page 1, or page 3, the first page we put down. Make sure I'm not over my, no, I'm not over my score line. Okay, there's that. And then page 1. We'll put some glue on that. And we will attach that down. Line it up. The other 2 pages. Make sure I'm not over too far. This wants to keep it from laying flat up. I shouldn't have turned it over so quick. Okay. And this will tie up. So there's that. Okay, what we need next is our 3 pieces for the back. Did I cut 3 pieces for the back? I think I did, and got rid of one of them. Okay, put this up. I gotta cut one more. I've got 2 of them cut. And they are 7. Oh no, they're 9 by 3. So let me cut one more. Now we need to score each of these to make a pocket on the back side. Put my pen back in here. Told you I'm terrible about that. Leave it out way too much. Okay. 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Most of you have made a blue million pockets. But if you're new, you need to know this. So we'll, goodness, we'll do all 3 of them. My sinuses drive me crazy. You know, and when I travel up north, never had a bit of trouble with my sinuses. The minute I come back to the south, it's all over again. I've lived in Florida and Texas. and it was the same way in Florida as it is here in Texas. My one daughter, who now lives in Indiana, she was in North Carolina when I was in Florida, and I used to drive up there to her house all the time from Florida. And I'd be going up the highway, and it would just disappear. And as soon as I got back to the Florida state line, there you go again. It's just really weird. Something in the southern climate doesn't agree with me. Okay, we're going to miter these corners and taper the top edge. All three of them. And this is going to close up the back of each page and also give us a place to insert folders or photomats or journaling spots or whatever you want to make. Okay, so we're going to burnish all of these. I really like this bone folder. Okay. Make sure these don't overlap. That one does. I did that one. Wasn't sure which one I did and which one I didn't. There we go. Okay. And let's bring our book back. This is going to be a problem that I did that gusset in there. Wish I hadn't done it now, but I did. Okay. Live and learn. Okay, and the pockets will attach to the back, like that. And then we'll add our design paper. Actually, before I do that, I think I'll cut the design paper first and then add the pocket. Okay, so let me pick out my papers because I haven't done that yet. And then I will be back with you shortly. Okay, we're getting there, kids. Okay, sorry about that. I thought I had record punched and I didn't. And all I have done though is just add some design paper with a strip of this gold down the center. And then I'm going to attach my pocket. And you can see where this 1/2 inch is. I'm going to go just over that and shy of the hinge. Gotta think what I want to say. And I'm going to add my pocket. Just shy of that and matching up my sides. If you take it all the way down to the bottom, you'll have a hard time turning your page. It'll give you too much resistance with the bulk. So what I intend to do is to mimic what I've got at the top and carry it through down here. So I've got to cut this And I need my pencil. Where's my pencil? I think I need it to be 2 3/8, but I'm going to make a mark just to be safe. Yep, that's what it is, 2 3/8. See if that's right. Yep. Well, I might take just a hair off. Otherwise, I won't have any green edge at the bottom. Okay. We'll ink this up. This is the side I want. And we'll get some glue on there, and then I'll cut the other 2 pieces for the bottom. And then I'll just continue on doing this same basic thing until I get all of them matted. And I'll carry this pattern down here. And then I'll meet you back here and we will work on, and I'll share with you what I put on the other 2 just so you can see it. But then we'll work on our inserts and photo mats and that type of thing. Alright? Okay, we have our cover done. And on the inside I want to share with you the inserts that I've made so far. Now you won't find on your cut list these flat ones because I have used just scraps that I had, various sizes. I know that most of us print our photos ourselves at home. We don't go to a photomat or any of those places anymore, so they don't really have to be a 4x6 or a 5x7 or whatever. You can crop them down to whatever size you want them to be. So I have 3 inserts behind this pocket, and those are just the flat photo mats. Then on this front section where this one flaps open, we have the 4 little sections there. And then behind this belly band I have 2 more. I did put 2 photo mats on the back of that one. I loved that flower. I just felt like I had to use it somewhere. And then we have another one like that. I've got glue all over my hands. Those go in there, and then this ties shut. Then on this page, this is where the little girl is. We have another photo mat. Oops, got to take a sticker off of that one. See what I mean? I've got glue peeling. It looks like my skin's peeling, but it isn't. It's just the glue. This is one of the little booklets, and this one will be on your cut list. And I just cut my paper, and then I cut this out of the bottom because it was way too long, and I cut this off the bottom and then glued it down to make a little pocket and stuck a photo mat in there. Then on the inside, I discovered I have this punch in my stash. Didn't even know I had it. I don't know if I left it out. I was going to show you. See if I put it in this drawer. Well, I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. It is, doesn't say who it's by, it just says it has a patent on it. Oh, wait a minute. It says success on it, so maybe it's EK, I don't know. But it cuts these photo corners, and you actually slip your photo up under these little tabs. So I did that, and then on the back we have one more photo. And it goes in this pocket with this photo mat. And then on this page, this is the one with the waterfall here. We have 2 of the single photo mats with that. And then I made another pocket here with this one. And this is another single. Just used it as a stopper. So that goes like that. And on back side of that page, this is a little small booklet, and I just put 2 little corner pieces of scrap down here to make a pocket and put a photo mat in it. I couldn't find my photo stamp, so I just wrote photo on it. And this is a metal embellishment I had in my stash. I just thought that kind of finished off where the 2 pieces came together. And I used my splatter stamp again here and on the back. And then we have another flat mat here, which you can add photos to the back or whatever you might like. And on this side, we have a few. Let me bring them out this way. Got so many up under there. This one is one of the Graphic 45 folders, and I just used the design paper and added 2 photo mats to the inside, and I just went around the edges, 8 stitching lines with my white gel pen. Then we have a flat photo mat here and a little booklet, and I used that punch again. And on the inside I did the splatter. I went crazy with the splatter. And on the back, this is attached, it's glued down in the center, but the little petals are attached with removable, repositionable glue sticks so that it lays down until you actually put a photo under it, and then you can put it down with permanent glue if you want to glue those petals down. Those go in there. And then on this one, we have another single mat here. And on this one, I made a little booklet, and I attached this tab, and it's just out of scraps. And I put a little metal embellishment I had in my stash with a enamel dot in the middle, and I tied a key to it, so that would be my closure for the booklet. And it just opens like this, and like that. And then, let's tie this back up. It just slips up under there. And I just have that attached with, make that too tight, with double-sided tape. And on the back, I just splattered a large photo mat. So we'll put that up under here. Like that. And then on the inside of the back cover, I haven't finished this last booklet yet. We have another photo mat, and then I have one more booklet in green, which I need to do, and you will see that on the final walkthrough. But I wanted to share with you so far what I have done, just to catch you up to date so you can see, and then if you want to do the same thing, that's fine. You might have other ideas. I put a couple photo mats here and a couple more up under here, and then you can attach more here if you want to. You actually could put this one in the pocket underneath and this one on top, however you want to do it. Alright, that's it so far. I will be back with the final walkthrough, and if you do make this, I hope you'll share it with me. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.